To make YouTube videos, you need a couple of things. First, you need an idea. The idea is the most important thing. Everything starts with a good idea. Second, you need a camera. It doesn't have to be an expensive one. Pretty much any camera will do. Even a phone will work. Third, you need a place to make your videos. In the past, I always thought it needed to be a dedicated space. I know now you don't need a dedicated space, and it definitely doesn't need to be a studio. If you have a dedicated space for shooting videos, that's great. I'm happy for you. If you have a dedicated studio to make videos, I'm also happy for you and a little jealous. So what do you do if you don't have a dedicated space available? Don't stress about it. There are a lot of places you can make a video. I'm going to show you a few of the places I have used to make my videos. Are these all of the places you can shoot a video? No, they're just some of the places I've used. So let's go. So a little background on me. I have made several videos, and while I have all the gear to make videos, I don't have a dedicated space that I can use permanently. Because of that, I have to set up all the equipment before I shoot a video, and I take it down after I finish. It isn't too difficult, and I actually like setting up the equipment. But the thought of setting up and tearing down all the lights, cameras, and audio gear just to make a video has kept me from making as many videos as I would like. That is until I figured out I didn't need a dedicated space to make videos. Don't get me wrong, a dedicated space is the best solution. It is because it gives you the most flexibility. First, you can control things, like the lighting and the look of your space. Second, you can treat the space to improve your audio. This is so important. Good audio is extremely important, and it's often overlooked. Third, you don't have to worry about the weather or the environment. You control all of that. Fourth, you don't have to set up anything before you start shooting. In a perfect world, you just turn on the lights, get the audio going, and hit record. Depending on your setup, you might need to coordinate with other people that live with you or work around things like landscapers, trash pickup, or construction. And finally, if you are not comfortable with speaking to the camera in front of people, this is the best option. You can speak to the camera as long as you want without feeling self-conscious. For me, this is easily the best benefit. Even though it's the best solution, it may not work for everyone. It definitely didn't work for me. I don't have a space I can dedicate for shooting videos. Once I came to realize I didn't need a dedicated space, I started looking around for locations. If you've seen any of my recent videos, you can see the places I came up with. This isn't a complete list of places, just a few of the places I've used to make my videos. First is outside, maybe a park. I find a secluded area, set up my gear, and start filming. It's not perfect. You have to deal with other people using the park. You also have to deal with the extraneous noise that you can't control and people coming into your area. Lighting can be a challenge. That's normally why I pick an area that is not in direct sunlight, maybe some shade. Changing lighting conditions can be a challenge. That's why I film normally during an early part of the morning or late in the afternoon. Another challenge is the weather. You have to work around rain, wind, and cold. Also, if you don't feel comfortable talking in front of the camera, this may be a good option. Just find a secluded area. Another option is walking while you make a video. You can walk on a trail, downtown, even in your neighborhood. Just like the park, there's going to be issues with audio, with lighting, and with other people. Also, if your area is not well lit, you're going to need to walk during the day. If you're walking on a lot of hills up and down, you're going to sound winded on camera. Not a big issue, but a concern. Also, if you're self-conscious about talking to the camera in front of a lot of people, this may not be your best option, especially if you're walking downtown or where there's a lot of people gathered. Another option is making a video while in your car. As with other locations, you can't control the lighting, but you have some control of the audio. because the enclosed space helps to block out some outside noise, and a car can actually be a fairly dead space. Driving your car while shooting is a good option, but it has a few drawbacks. First, you have to concentrate on driving the vehicle. If you aren't good at multitasking or you are in a congested area, you probably shouldn't shoot while driving. Second, you might need to do some audio processing to minimize the road noise. A good high-pass filter can get rid of a lot of the low-frequency rumble you may have in a car. Obviously, safety should always be your first concern, so don't shoot in a moving vehicle if it's not safe. Finally, depending on local traffic laws, you may be prohibited from filming while driving. In some places, having a screen in view of the driver is against the law, so check this out before shooting video in a car. A better option for filming in a car is doing it when the vehicle is stopped. It solves two problems. One, the legality issue of filming while you're driving, and two, it also is much safer. Other benefits of a stopped vehicle are better audio, and you may be able to take advantage of lighting depending on where you park. Unless you're going to set up lights in your vehicle, you will need to film during the day. One advantage to filming in your car is that because people talk on the phone in the car all the time, you shouldn't feel self-conscious about making a video in a car. Just pretend you're talking to someone on the phone. So you don't have a car? What about a bike? It's very easy to put a camera on a bike, and shooting a video on a bike is really fun. Some of the same concerns you have with a car also apply to a bike. First, concentrate on riding. Don't try to hold the camera with one hand and hold the handlebars with the other. That's not going to go well. There are several concerns with riding a bike and making a video. One, wind noise. Any microphone you use is going to have a windscreen on it. My microphone of choice is the DJI Mic 2. It comes with a good windscreen and noise reduction. I normally don't turn the noise reduction on. I usually fix any additional noise that comes up in post. But your first line of defense should always be a good windscreen. Two other things you're going to have to deal with when riding a bike and making videos. First is lighting. You're not going to be able to control the lighting. You're going to be going through shade areas and bright areas, so you just have to kind of deal with it. Lighting is definitely going to be a concern. Second thing is weather. Depending on where you live, you may only get a couple of months out of the year where you can actually ride a bike and make a video. It's not very fun riding a bike in the rain or in the snow or sleet, so that is a challenge. Okay, there are a lot of challenges to using a bike, but there is one big advantage. Depending on your location, you may be able to get great shots of the areas you're riding. You can get some awesome B-roll footage as well as backgrounds for your videos. If you live in areas that have great scenery, use it to your advantage. Even riding in neighborhoods or city streets can add interest to a video. One other option is filming indoors like a coffee shop or restaurant. First off, not all places allow filming, so make sure it's allowed. Places like coffee shops and some restaurants where people are hanging out on laptops are good places to film. Even if you find a good location to film, there are some unwritten rules. Don't set up anything that draws attention. Lights, large camera setups, or external mics on a boom are probably not a good idea. Be courteous to others. If possible, set up in a corner and keep your setup minimal. A small camera or even a phone will work. I would avoid using a webcam or a laptop camera. They don't give good results. Avoid filming others. Many people don't want to be part of your video, and you should respect their privacy. Filming in a coffee shop, restaurant, or other public place poses some different challenges. First, there is likely a lot of noise in most of these places, so you may need to do some work in post to clean up the audio. Any music needs to be completely removed before posting. There is nothing worse than getting a copyright strike for background music played at Starbucks. If you can't remove the music from the location, maybe you should relocate to a different spot. Moving outside may solve several problems, but all of the unwritten rules still apply. Basically, try and not be a nuisance or bother anyone. Whether you're filming inside or outside, If you're uncomfortable speaking in front of a camera in a large public area, coffee shop may not be the best place. I've done this a couple of times, and I still feel uncomfortable doing it. Maybe it gets easier. Everyone making YouTube videos has challenges. Some have problems coming up with ideas. Others have time constraints. Others don't think they have the right equipment or technical ability to make videos. These are all legitimate concerns that you can work through. But not having a dedicated YouTube space shouldn't stop you from making videos. Do you have a dedicated space for making videos? If you do, let me know in the comments. I especially want to know if I missed any locations that work to make videos. Hey, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button. I hope this made you want to explore other areas to shoot videos. Once I figured out that a dedicated location isn't critical, making videos became much easier and more fun. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.